Breaking news, man. Breaking news. Breaking news. Exclusive. Diddy's alleged drug mule accepts a deal in the drug case and he will be getting no jail time. I'm going to break this down so y'all understand. But until then, remember, I got a big party May 18th at 9 degrees in Fort Lee, 1642 Slouser Drive, Slouser Street in Fort Lee. Lemoyne Avenue, first exit over George Washington Bridge. Doors open at 8 o'clock. Don't be late. Ron G, Double J, Hattie Racks, everybody up in there. Let's get this thing right. All right. Remember, May 18th, tomorrow, Saturday, 8 o'clock to 2:30. Come meet Unique Mecca Audio at his welcome home party and his 60th birthday party in 9 degrees at 1642 Slouser Drive Street in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Alright? Now, Unique Mecca Audio here, man. This is exclusive. I'm going to break this down so y'all understand what's going on with it, right? Now, Brendan Paul, they listed him as Diddy's drug mule. The day they railed up in both of Diddy's mansions, one in L.A., one in Miami. Brendan Paul was caught going on the airport with drugs. But now, the key thing for that you got to keep in mind and remember is that Little Rod done laid out a whole slew of different illegal activities that he has carried out for Puffy. So what they working on now is a RICO. You can't really see a RICO on the biggest level, and what they call a CCE. CCE stands for Continual Criminal Enterprise. They're going to try and bring drugs in this with Diddy, because if they bring the drugs in with Diddy, then that means that if he's found guilty, then that means that right there, they'll be able to hit him with what they call the forfeiture law. The forfeiture law is where anything that you acquired from drug proceeds is going to be confiscated and forfeited over to the government. So could you imagine, after all this is over, they wind up where the federal government got $1 billion that this black man earned coming up out of Harlem and Mount Vernon. But yet everyone is rooting for his downfall. So you'll rather the government have the billion than one of your own. It's just a question. Put it in the comments, you know. And I know everybody's going to say, oh, well, he did this, he did that. He hasn't even been charged yet. And believe me, he will be charged, because they're not rolling up with that type of force with Homeland Security and, you know, all the alphabet boys and, you know, tanks and everything in a mansion in California, the richest neighborhood, and Miami, the richest neighborhood, for nothing. You know what kind of scandal and fool they would look like if that's the case? Check it out, right? Diddy's alleged mule, Brendan Paul, he struck a good deal, right? A good deal for him, a good deal for a rat bastard. So let me explain to you how this deal worked, right? They said that he won't be doing any jail time. Here's a man that's caught up, right? Brendan Paul, caught up in the biggest case with one of the biggest moguls for my time in the urban area. Now, we got him sitting in, and he's locked up, and they give him a deal that he does no jail time, that he just has to go to a program. A lot of times that could be because he was, you know what that means. You know what I mean? That could be what it is a lot of times, just so you understand. But, you know, in this situation, they made this deal too soon and for the government to agree. Brendan Paul's name is named all over Little Rod's lawsuit. So being that it's named all over Little Rod's lawsuit, that means that he's caught up knee deep in all of this, right? And for the government to say, oh, we're going to give you a deal where you're not going to do any jail time and you just go to a drug program and you go about your business, even though you was caught up in a $1 billion enterprise investigation that they got going on trying to take down one of our own. So you understand, they don't do that. Better believe that Brendan Paul will be going to the grand jury. Little Rod will be going to the grand jury. Cassie will be going to the grand jury. They're going to bring everybody to the grand jury, and it's going to be so many big names, because right now they just sitting there trying to accumulate as many people as they can. What do you think, right? And put it in the comments. What do you think these other entertainers that attended Diddy's lavish parties, or as they call them, alleged freak-offs. What do you think they thinking right now when they say, hey, he had cameras in every room? So that means that he got pictures of a young Beyonce. You know what that's worth? Allegedly. Imagine a picture, allegedly, of butt-naked Beyonce doing certain things. You remember they used to have the thing in Hustler magazine called Celebrity Slush, where they had celebrities either naked, having sex that they caught pictures of. But imagine videos of all of these moguls and superstars and entertainers and, you know, possibly politicians. You know, I've been hearing things. Let's ride. Let's ride. I've been hearing, you know, rumors and speculation and accusations that, you know, they raided Diddy's house to get the tapes so that they could protect the people that's in power that's on the tapes. Bullshit. You better believe it. Do you know, right? Listen, all right, let me break it down because we ride. You know, we like to ride. We like to ride, right? Do you know that, right? Diddy sitting here going through all this, right? Now, $1 billion is at stake. The government they want to make an example out of him. So they sent a show of force and intimidation to let anyone know that either you get on the federal bandwagon and, you know, cooperate and testify against Diddy, or you going down with him, you know? Now, there was video cameras allegedly in every room, so you can imagine what they caught. Yo, listen, we don't even know how long this investigation is going to take, because let's do the real. They got to go through looking at every microsecond of every film to see who's in the film, who's in the background, and they got to listen to see what is being said in the background. And humans are doing this. Maybe AI helping them out now. But you got to use human time to go through this because they don't want to miss nothing. They don't want to leave it up to AI. I got them listening to it themselves, you know, getting everything they can, and then turn it over to AI and have AI look through it to see what they may have missed. And AI, we know, works like that. But a human looking at hundreds of hours of tapes, and then don't forget, Little Rod said he got hundreds of hours of tapes. So everybody's sitting back, they saying, they pro Diddy, they anti Diddy, they everything Diddy. You know what I mean? Now he died down out the media. When they dropped this, you know, investigation finding, you better believe the world is gonna be shooken up. And I can tell you one thing. That will be dropped right when it get close to the election, like right after summer, maybe August, you know, because the election is November. So if they drop that by then, nobody's going to be paying attention to the election, because right now they have everybody mesmerized on gossip. That's what these channels is about. They're gossip channels. And everybody is looking for someone's downfall. And that's the way that works. Everyone wants someone's downfall. So if you say somebody fell and broke a leg, everybody's sitting there looking, laughing, and hoping for the worst. You know? Now here you go, man, that they're trying to give him life in jail. Now they said that Brendan Paul allegedly transported drugs, per what Little Rod said, you know, even to different continents of the world. That's where the Homeland Security come in. Just so you understand what I'm saying. This is not nice. This is not a good time for the entertainment business, because they're coming to get you. And now all these entertainers that's yelling that they bowed it, they stayed 10 toes down. Now we're going to see what's going on when they say, hey, we're looking to give you 60 years because you participated in this, you know, with Diddy, and you drug the girls as well. And once they go pushing all that on them, ain't none of them going to sit there and say they're going to be like Unique and they're going to stand 10 toes down. It's just not going to happen. Let's stop it, you know? So now we're going to see how many rat bastards the feds and Homeland Security could make out of the entertainment world. This whole joint, what they're doing right now, right? They're pulling the blanket off the entertainment world and they're exposing the sheets and what's going on the sheets to the world. And you better believe when this drops at the end of the summer, because they're going to let us have a good summer because they're got to do the election and all that. And if the election get too complicated, what they're going to do is they're going to drop a little piece. They're going to leak out, a couple of the little snippets that they caught. You know the way we go on YouTube and we make our shorts and we put the shorts videos up just to give them a teaser, The feds is going to give us a little teaser to let us know, don't think that it's no witch hunt. Because, and a matter of fact, right, y'all put in the comments, the first person I heard, and now you let me know who you heard first, to use that word that it was a witch hunt when it's dealing with the media was our ex-president Donald Trump. And you see what's going on right now. They done caught Michael Cohen up in all kinds of, they get ready to charge Michael Cohen, again, is what they looking at to charge, Donald Trump's fixer, AKA alleged fixer, attorney, they getting ready to charge him with like perjury, because they said he said something different at the grand jury, different in New York, different when he went to Congress. These people not playing, man, And do you know that right now, like I said, Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump's life and liberty depends on this election. His life and liberty depends on this election. If he lose this election, you already know it's going to be a free-for-all for them to attack him. Now, if he win the election, he's coming in and firing all the prosecutors in New York like he did the last time. He's coming in to fire all the prosecutors in Georgia and trying to investigate them with the Justice Department, because that's what they call weaponizing, the Justice Department. Weaponizing the Justice Department is where you use the Justice Department as a weapon to carry out, your alleged evil deeds. So once they let that out, and they weaponize that and they start investigating, what's her name, Fannie, down there in Georgia, start investigate the black dude in New York that's prosecuting them. When they start doing all that, dude, listen, I'm not even going to say if, when Donald Trump gets in office, America is going to see the unveiling of the skirt of the Lady Justice that's supposed to be holding the scale, saying that she's blind. If you ever looked at the Lady Justice, she got a blindfold over her eyes and she's holding the scale out because they're saying that she's blind and you're supposed to listen to both sides of the evidence before you make a determination, because the way the Constitution is written, you're supposed to be, guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and the reasonable doubt is where you're saying, well, maybe he didn't do that. Maybe he didn't do this. If you got a doubt, then that means that you must acquit. I want to see how the verdict from New York is going to come out. Listen, man, if they find him guilty in New York, he's still going to be running for president. He's never been in jail, so his record is clear, so he shouldn't get no jail time, but the statutes of the United States carries mandatory sentences and sanctions. Some is prison time, and some you could go, with the community service and things like that. But he's not in court for 30-something charges in New York to be getting no probation. So this right here, we had a trial. Listen, we're living through history right now. This is history unfolding as we speak. In 100 years, they're going to look back and they're going to see how one businessman from New York came in and shook up the whole Washington, D.C. political department. Before Donald Trump get in, I know this about Brendan Paul, but I'm riding. I'm riding. Let me ride. Can I ride? You know what I mean? Can I ride? And do y'all think I'm doing good? Let me get a round of applause if I'm doing good. Oh, man. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, come on now, let me finish. Please let me finish. All right, so now, Donald Trump right now is fighting for his life. I want to see how this is going to play out. The world want to see how this is going to play out. And everybody's taking it lightly. Oh, he's going to be running for president. Nothing going to happen. It's Donald Trump, this and that. You don't know what these people is going to do. When they get their sights on you, but it's just that Donald Trump has all these, big wigs that make and made the laws of the United States based off the United States Constitution is supporting him. They already up there discussing Michael Cohen's testimony in New York City yesterday, in Washington yesterday, in real life time. They already, tearing apart in Washington. They tearing apart Michael Cohen's, testimony to show the inconsistencies. When have they done that? The trial is not even over, and Washington, D.C. is publicly on the news expressing how Michael Cohen may get charged for perjury because he said this in New York, he said this at Congress, he said this at the grand jury. When have they done that? When have you seen Washington, D.C. defend anyone that's on trial? Normally they say you can't speak on it. It's supposed to be a knowing gag order, but we have the biggest politicians already tearing down the main witness for a defendant in a criminal trial in the United States of America. Do y'all not see what is going on here? Or y'all too caught up worrying about Diddy and Brendan Paul? That's why I'm merging the two in, so y'all could get a clear picture and a clear view, and maybe you could understand what these people are doing. Because what they're doing is they're putting everything together so that when the election comes and it starts getting crazy, they can drop, this was found at Diddy's house. Look what this entertainer was doing. Look what this rapper was doing. And everybody's going to be on social media talking about Diddy and this entertainer, rapper, whatever they were doing, on the videotapes, and they're going to forget about the election. Let me ride and give you one. See, I don't worry about views on my joint. I just give you what you need, to hopefully open your mind. Do you know that while they was, pay attention now, while they was taking Donald Trump to the impeachment trial to be impeached, while everybody was watching the impeachment on the news, you had Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. They was in the background appointing federal judges to the federal bench behind our backs. While this was going on, right? While the impeachment was going on, they put in like 100 judges. And now, these 100 judges Donald Trump signed off on, and now they're in power. And now the same man who gave them their seat and their position, he has to go in front of. So now here this dude gets put in office, by a man, and then that man's paperwork come in front of him. Do you think he has an alliance or allegiance to them? I know justice is supposed to be blind. That's why she's wearing the blindfold, like I said. But right now, they're lifting up the skirt of Lady Justice and showing what they're really about. But this is what they use to get me and my comrades incarcerated and locked away for over 4 and 5 decades. I brought a man up here that been down 50 years since 1972. And y'all didn't even get that. When did you get a chance to hear from a man live in your face that served 50 years in prison? All of y'all watching, think back. What was you doing in 1972? That's when this man went to jail. And I brought him here for you. Y'all think back. What were you doing in 1993? What did you do from 1993 to 2020? I'll tell you what I did. I was in prison for that whole time. And I sat back and I watched the way everything was playing out. And I watched the news and Dateline and 60 Minutes and Prime Time and everything else because I wanted to know what was going on in the world because I was trying to get back to being a part of that world. My comrades in prison used to say, and I know y'all gonna love this, they gonna rat bastards. Let me get a rat bastard some content. The brothers in prison used to say that I was a lunchbox. Do you know what a lunchbox is? Okay, I'm gonna break it down. A lunchbox is somebody that's like burnt out. They said I was burnt out because Super Bowl Sunday, they giving out boxes with fried chicken and ice cream and all types of goodies, apple pie and sweet potato pie and, long fish, French fries and sodas. We had to buy sodas from the commissary and they were sugar free because the sodas with sugar, we'll take the sodas and we'll boil it down in a stinger or in a microwave and turn it into like molasses. We'll turn the sugar. Then we'll take a couple of cases of sugar and dump that melted down soda in it, which is now pure sugar, and cook our wine. You see how creative we was? You see how we make something out of nothing? But anyway, let me get back because I'm riding. Let me get back. Now, right? So Super Bowl Sunday, everybody is gearing up, putting their chairs out where they're gonna sit in front of their TV, because they got the Blood TV, the Crip TV, the Serrano TV, the Border Brother TV, the Mexican Mafia TV, the Midwest TV. They give every car a TV to keep them pacified, so they sit there and focus on the foolery on the television, and not that they're stuck doing life in prison and they're waiting for them to die. I used to sit back on the top range where my cell was at, overlooking the TV, because I could just lay in my bed and watch TV and open the door, close the door, just sit in the chair. And as I look down through Super Bowl and, the playoffs, and I see them, all my comrades in front of TVs with their big bowls of food and they zooms and whams, and they can't wait till the game come on. They running in and out the cell smoking weed, and they just can't wait till the game come on. And I'm sitting on the top range in my body. I'm like, yo, they really got my niggas fooled and stuck on this television. So I said no. So I go to Mainline. Mainline is when you go to the chow hall. That's where they have the big administration. I went up there and I pulled up the warden that said, how's the food? Yeah, the game is on. We're going to leave y'all out late night in case the game run over, so you're not even going to be locked in tonight. It's like a holiday, because they always lock us in like 8, 9 o'clock. But they say the game run to 11, 12 o'clock. You just got to stay out till 11:45. Then you go in and you count. If the game is still on, then you come back out after 12 a.m. And we're in a penitentiary where 90% of the men is bloodthirsty. But he's giving us this day. And everybody's so happy. And I looked at the warden and I said, yo, but what about the law library? He said, oh no, we have the law library closed. Everything is closed down because the officers want to go home and, they want to watch the game with their families as well. I said, but I have life plus 20 with no chance of parole. One of these cocksuckers told me, because he was rolled like that. He said, and you'll still have it in the morning after the game. Yo, that man told me, yeah, I know you got life plus 20, and I know you want to go to the law library, to try and find the key to get out of jail. But what does one more day make? In the morning, you'll wake up and still have life plus 20. And I said, yeah, but I can utilize that time to fight towards getting it off. So instead of me getting out in 6 months, 6 years, or whatever, I might get out a day before that. And if you don't think that day means something, you consider my cell for a day. And I guarantee you couldn't and wouldn't do it. But I have to sit there for 26 years fighting for my freedom and watching my comrades get lost on the TV, aka television. Because all it does is tell lies like this social media, YouTube. Everybody's caught up on the gossip, and no one is paying attention to the politics of what's going on. I talked to a young lady yesterday, and she had the nerve to tell me, man, I don't care what happened in Washington. I don't care what happened. That don't affect me. I'm just living my life. I'm like, young lady, what happens in Washington does affect your life, because that's your life. It's like, yeah, well, whoever they put in, they're going to do what they want to do. Of course they are. Because you're not voting. Do you know that Martin Luther King fought for us to have the right to vote, and you sitting here telling me that now, after Martin shed so many blood, tears, and sat in prison for you to be able to vote, now you're telling me that you're not going to use something that a man gave his life to give you? Somebody please make it make sense. Please make it make sense. All of y'all that's registered to vote can't tell you who to vote for. But if you registered to vote, trust me, pay attention to what's going on, pay attention to what the politicians are promising, and which ones is going to affect your life. And vote for that one. And the crazy part is, I could be riding. Relax, relax. I'm going to get back to Brendan Paul. Relax, man. I'm giving y'all jewels today. This is Friday morning wisdom. Don't forget, I got the big party May 18th tomorrow at 1642 Slouser Street in Fort Lee, New Jersey. You could Google it, 9 Degree. No S at the end. 9-D-E, you know, G-R-E. You know what I mean? You know what it is, because, you know, they're going to tell me I can't spell. Well, I learned to spell. Listen, I didn't get my GED. I didn't learn to read and write. Take GED off. I didn't learn to read and write until 1998, when I was 34 years old, in 80X Supermax in Florence, the most tightest, secure prison that they have, El Chapo, the Unabomber. I was thinking, listen, I don't have to go through my resume of the people that I cross paths with, right? But that's where I learned to read and write. And once I learned to read, my mind opened up. So all you youngins out there, I'm telling you, stay in school. I'm pushing my grandkids to know what education is. It's key. Once I learned to read, I saw how the lawyers was crossing me. I saw how the lawyers was dragging things out to get more money out of me. You know, look, listen, lawyers will put in motions they know they're going to lose because they know you're going to come back and you're going to have to spend more money to appeal it. But they know they could have put the motion in to win, but then they wouldn't be able to get that other money to appeal it. But anyway, let me get into Brandon Paul, you know. I ain't even wanted this long, but let me go. Brandon Paul, right? They give him this sweet deal. They don't give nobody a sweet deal like that unless you're cooperating. Especially when you caught up with this man. Right now, they'll probably make Brendan unindicted is what they call it, co-conspirator. Unindicted meaning they fed him on the information. They signed what they call immunity. Immunity mean that you can't be charged with prosecution for any crime that you admitted to while you was being debriefed and gave up all the information that they needed. With Little Rod and Brendan Paul together, when Little Rod put in the lawsuit, already put it out there that Brendan Paul was out there carrying guns, moving cocaine, you know, traveling here, going out getting sex workers. That boy tied all up in it to sit there and talk about these people that made a deal with him when they got him out of balls, not just with a simple possession in his car on the highway, but getting on the target of a main investigation's private plane. And the easiest way to get that plane, the easiest way to get that plane is to link his activities with drugs. I even heard rumors. Y'all put in the comments. I heard rumors that, you know, Big Meats gave, you know, Diddy the drug money, you know, to start, you know, Bad Boy. Fugazi. But I heard those. So now, if they can put it together to show that someone gave Diddy drug money to start what he started, that means everything that came from that drug money could be forfeited if you found guilty of a drug charge. Now, here's Brendan Paul. While all this investigation going on, in less than 2 months, they give him a sweet deal. No time, you finish, you know, this is too sweet. You finish the drug program, and you won't even have this on your jacket. You go back to being a normal man while we're still investigating Diddy, but we're not worried about you. We're going to let you go on with your life, and we're going to still, you know, fight the hard fight to find out what's going on with Diddy, and we're not even going to ask you for corroboration of what Little Rod said. You see how this works? Do you see how ludicrous this is? That boy 25 years old. And Diddy had him up on them. See, and you know the thing is, right? I'm going to say this. Let me ride. Yeah. When I came home, so much to the homies, right? Because I know Diddy be watching these videos. But I'm going to keep it 100. Because this was your downfall, Diddy. This was your downfall. You know? What it was is, right? At least what I feel was your downfall, right? I'm talking directly to Diddy. When I first came home, they said, yo, you know, I used to run with Diddy people, Diddy, da. You know, y'all him cool, this and that. He said, yo, but he not going to mess with you. You know what I mean? I said, what you mean? He said, man, he not going to mess with you because you too real. He don't want no independent man that could think for themselves around him. He want yes boys and dudes he can do what he want to do with. But those be the rat bastards. When something happens, they tell. Just like Brendan Paul. But now if he would have had a thorough dude doing it, you understand? That he couldn't control, that had his own independent thoughts, but would still listen and follow orders of protocol coming from the general or the king, Puffy or P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him. If they had a real man next to him, they would have just shut the F up, kept it moving, and that would have been the end of that. But right now, because you didn't want to put on real from the street, because you was intimidated that they may try and, you know, rough you off, extort you, or whatever little things they was trying to say, you know? But that's what come back to bite you. The prosecutor, let me see, the prosecutor said this in my case. Oh, the prosecutor said this in my case. I had a dude testify, you know, for me at my trial. Like, we ain't gonna do it the one that testified in my behalf. Well, I had a dude with my co-defendant. My co-defendant was gonna take the stand. You understand? To get on the stand. And they didn't put him on the stand because he had like 3 murders, all kinds of stuff. I'm not even gonna put it out there right now at this time. But then I had someone testify for me in the trial, and this young man that testified for me in the trial, he was charged with a horrific crime. Somebody messed up his money, and he wanted to, you know, beat him up, torture him, and put him in a bathtub, electrocuted him, and, you know what I mean, and all the genitals, wrapped him up in a blanket, put him in the back of a car, you know what I mean, and took him out to the field and set the car on fire. It's what they allegedly said that the homie did. Yeah, my homie. You know, we got all types of homies. You got square homies and you got real homies. You know, real street dude homies, you know. Now, when he got on the stand and he started testifying, letting it be known, because we had to let it know, you know, how the government works, you know, how the government does this, you know. So what the government do, right? They bring in these people. So the government said to my jury, pay attention and follow me. The government said to my jury, he said, look, we know this man is a demon. We know he has a shady past. We know he's a criminal. We know he's scum of the earth. He said, but we had to go to the swamp to get the scum to tell on the scum because we're not allowed in the swamp. So we had to create a rat bastard from the swamp to tell what goes on with the scum. So, you know, you can believe our witnesses from the scum, but don't believe his witness from the scum. What's the difference with my homie, you know, torturing somebody, wrapping up in a blanket, put him in the truck, and set him to fire on the side of the road, you know what I mean? And testifying, trying to my behalf, letting it be known that the government, you know, coerced people and try and use them to do this and that, and that's the way they did in their trial or whatever. And someone else that wound up killing a woman while she's 6 months pregnant. But that person is testifying for the government, and the government is saying, you can take what he's saying for real, because even though he wound up killing that woman that was pregnant, the baby lived. And he's reformed now. So he's telling the truth because he's working for us, but the one testifying in Unique's behalf, you know, you can't believe him, but you can believe our scum, but don't believe Unique scum. Been on here long enough. I got things to do. It's Friday. Remember, May 18th, 1642 Sloucher Ave in Fort Lee. The club is called 9 Degree. Google it. Doors open at 8. Close at 2:30. Don't miss it. I will be there. My comrades is going to be there. I got so many guests coming, it's going to blow your mind. Real niggas. Watch when I put the pictures up of the men that came out to my party so you can understand. And I tell you what, ain't going to be no rat bastards in our picture. Oh, rat bastards in our joint. All right?
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. What?
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Rush. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squealing to the cops, make an audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish there. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.